I've tried playing the pre-order beta game for more than 24 hours already, and surprisingly, it's actually really good. I tried every classes, different missions, and difficulty. Overall, it's great. I didn't expect that a Warhammer 40k following this type of Left 4 Dead kind of getup would prove to be fun throughout my play. It's even better from what I've experienced with Vermintide 2 so far. Instead of the usual set of characters to use, the game has a moderately good customizable characters. It builds up that immersion to be in the Warhammer 40k universe, along with a creative set of unique voices to choose. That ties into the character's personality traits. That ends up creating different sets of unique dialogues depending on the other player's personality. It's kinda like in this case, where the other player tries to get the ammo first, before I even got to them.
Where the hell did ammo go? Here! This way!
See what I mean? I'm surprised how lively it feels as to compare with Back 4 Blood, honestly. Although, when it comes to the story cutscenes themselves, it kinda feels a bit lacking as of the moment. It's not perfect as it is, of course, as this is still a beta phase after all. I'm not sure if they're gonna change it, but I kinda hope they do. Although the cutscenes themselves is amazing when it comes to the introduction of the Warhammer 40k universe. Well, there's actually still a lot more to learn when it comes to the lore itself, but for the sake of this game, it's decent enough. When it comes to the design of it, I was blown away on the amount of details for each of the places, and the carefully crafted details and level design have put to this game. There's even those lemon roost tank around at some of the stages. I'm actually stunned to see it all, in a different perspective of it, of course. It made me just look around for a bit and enjoy the view. Although there were some missions that intersects with the level design that feels a bit too repetitive in some ways, but that's just a minor thing. For the majority of it, the places looks amazing and huge as it is. The amount of missions, however, are kinda a bit few. I sure do hope they'll add more missions in between once the game is fully released. At the very least, each of the mission takes around probably 18 to 26 minutes or so, that long. So at least it's long enough. When it comes to the amount of classes in the game, they can still be a bit limited for now. I mean, again, this is still at its beta stage after all. Who knows, it might end up the same way how Vermintide 2 classes later on. Each of the classes has their own set of unique abilities to use, while having passive skills that buffs off nearby players. The weapons themselves, however, are pretty much alright in a way. Different weapons and curios to equip, and you could buy them here at the armory. While the unique set of weapons are available on the middle part of the game, which might take you around 3 hours or so. And those equipments that you could buy at the shop or the armory over here might take a while, considering it's a bit of a chance to even spawn them over there. I'm not sure why they've decided that way, but it's a bit of a bummer, honestly. Not to mention, there's also the equipments or the different kinds of armors to use, just for the glamour side of things, however. Although it's kinda weird that you can only unlock them through achievements, however. I kinda wish that you could just buy them off at the shop or something. After the game's official release date, however, I kinda have a bad feeling they're gonna go for the microtransaction route. Just for the glamour, I hope so though. When it comes to the enemies of the game, I'm actually amazed how creative they can be, much like the same with Left 4 Dead. There were some sound cues for the elites while having their own set of specialties that annoys the player. In some cases and missions, boss enemies what takes the challenge in between. I'm even surprised how smart the elite enemies can be. When you're gonna try for a higher difficulty in a mission, the enemy would gonna chase you players all throughout. They know how to ambush a player properly and learn when to run from the player. This is the type of AI I look for in a lot of games, the more challenging ones that are not completely brain-dead enemies. I'm even surprised how there's a suppressive fire mechanic that can slow us down when taking a barrage of range attacks from afar. And the enemies are gonna do that, so be careful from it. And of course, as do many beta games, there's still quite a lot of bugs in between. Crashes do happen, but it rarely happens in my case at least. A total of 4 to 5 crashes happened to me, and a few bugs here and there. It must be somehow tied with the Ogryn class, from the ones I've encountered in Lace. I've tried every classes, and there were no crashes surprisingly. Just the Ogryn side of things for some reason. It might be different for other people though. At the very least, I'm confident enough that they could fix it up later on, just like the same case with Vermintide 2 before. And then there's the poor optimization of the game. I understand that they wanted to go big and amazing of it, but the game is really heavy. More heavier than Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, or even 7 Days to Die. And if you know and played 7 Days to Die, you know what I mean. I can't even play it on my gaming laptop properly while I had to rely on my brother's desktop to have a decent smoother play. Although the video options of the game is very extensive, with a few tinkering here and there, some might able to play it. But still, it's really poorly optimized. They gotta have to prioritize this above all else. Now, I'm not a huge fan for the Warhammer 40k series myself. I've only read like a single book of it years before. But I've played quite a lot of it from different genres, even their VR game before. All the way since Dawn of War to the rest of the other titles. But this one felt like a well-deserved game for its lore. Although I'm kinda wondering when will the other chaos comes in. I think most of the enemies are from Papa Nurgle in this case. I might be wrong on this one, but I'm expecting the more difficult ones to arrive. Those bunch of Chaos Space Marines or those occults. As the game is at its pre-order open beta stage, I don't want to exactly recommend the game for now. But considering the amount of time I've played for 24 hours and a positive amount of reviews of it during at its beta stages and closed beta before, the game would most probably be actually worth it. Then, when you're gonna see the mixed reviews in Steam and the amount of technical problems it has with the servers, account issues, GPU related problems, and the poor optimization, it's kinda scary in a way to gamble on it. But if you're trying the game on Steam, once the game is fully released, you could just buy the game out. There's at least the refund policy to cover for you if the game doesn't exactly work on your end. And that actually works as I've done it before. Although, I'm not sure with the pre-order stage though. You might want to check things out better online. At the very least, a lot of people have tried the game already to know about it. Kind of like when Monster Hunter series starts releasing demos of their game. At least, it's not exactly the same case with the launching of No Man's Sky before. And we all know that's a disaster at the start. It only managed to redeem itself years after. If you're still wondering about it, you could watch my playthrough videos for each of the classes over here, down on the description below. It might give you a few different insight of it overall. Now, as for those who've been waiting for my Guilty Gear videos to come up, I'm really sorry for the delay. But I'm currently working on it as much as possible. I just had to rest for a bit for now, since I kinda ended up busting my thumb for playing consecutive amounts of times of it. And you know how difficult the game can be. It took me several retries just to get the full story completion of it. Just give me another week, then I probably might be able to upload it after. And for those looking for Warhammer 40k content, I'm planning to go on the RTS genre more about it, and the VR game of theirs later on. And also the Vermintide 2, and this full release version months after. So, I know it's a bit of a mess, but if you're expecting for more Warhammer 40k content on a more broader setting, I do hope you might stay for more of it. For more videos such as these, why not head down to my channel to check things out? I do accurate game reviews of the past games, and some other new ones too. If you consider subscribing to my channel, please do follow me on my Twitter account for more updates, in case something bad might happen all of a sudden. There's still a way to contact me over there. This is K1PM, and I bid you farewell.